Welcome to another video, guys. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So I just wanted to show you guys a quick tour around my my workshop, aka my garage and some of my storages. Just wanted to kind of show you a little tour of, what about 10,000 Lego minifigures look like, plus, and like a trillion Lego pieces everywhere all over a garage and in one storage that I have. So without further ado, just want to give you guys a little tour of what I have, what I resell, what I kind of just keep in stock and stuff like that. All right, here we go. We're gonna start. All right, guys, welcome to the Lord Business Lair. This is my garage, aka storage, one storage out of three. All right, just want to go and show you guys a quick little thing of what everything is here. All right, so yeah, there's a bunch of stuff everywhere. I always have stuff on. This is my shipping table. All right, and usually I have figures I put out here, getting ready for the show and whatnot. All right, so this is my shipping table right here. All right, that's where I do all the printing and all off that zebra printer right there. And like I said, we go around here. All right, so this is all pick-a-brick stuff. This is from the Lego store. This is all pick-a-brick, profile brick, masonry brick, all kinds of bricks that you can find at the Lego store. Usually I get them in the boxes like this, and then I resell them, on different platforms, whatnot, eBay, wherever platforms this is. All right, and here we go. We just have a bunch of like minifigures and parts. All right, so what I'm going to show you guys is just the outside of it. Until you start digging into all this stuff, is when you actually see, how much stuff there actually really is here. But this is all Star Wars parts in here. That's all Star Wars helmets in there. All right, we got, minifigures and parts and, pick-a-brick stuff in that bin. This table here, this area right over here is all filled with just minifigures and parts and just separated brick. So it looks really bad right now, but, that's kind of how it goes with, when you've been buying Lego since 2005. This is a whole, these are one of those massive bins of just Lego Star Wars right over here. We got sets right over here that are pre-built. You got Pirates, Imperials, more Lego parts there. All right, this is a bin of just stuff that's unsorted with just Lego minifigures in there. All right, there's more there. We come over here. All right, this is another bin of this is a 56 quart bin of just minifigures and parts. 56 quart bin of just minifigures and parts that, over the years and years that I just kind of dumped in there. Those are all minifigure legs. All right. These right over here. All right. It's just, completed sets that won't get damaged. This is a Death Star, the second Death Star. All right. There's a UCS Sandcrawler in here. More bricks there. All right. There's a Death Star 10195 right there. More figures right over there. All right, and then we have over here, I believe we have, Mindstorm stuff, railroad tracks, old 9-volt tracks. All right, then we come over here. This is where I do a lot of 3D printing. A lot of people don't know I do a lot of 3D printing that I sell on whatnot. All right, this is more Ninjago stuff right here. This is all the bin of just Ninjago. All right, these are all parts. This is all parts of just minifigure parts that have been separated already. So imagine all this. This is all just in my garage. This is what you guys see here. This is all parts that have been sorted out. All right. This is all right here. This is all headgear. This is all minifigures and parts, old weapons and tools. You have plumes, vintage stuff from the believe 80s to the 90s. Okay. There's more brick here. All right, we go in these bins here. Those are all old Imperial soldiers. Tons of them. Okay, I've been selling them on the rest of the lot. More pick-a-brick stuff over there. CMFs over there. More CMF Dungeon Dragons over there. More CMF Dungeon Dragons over there. These are the parts trays that I've been making, that I've been selling on whatnot. Here's more dinosaurs. A bin of just dinosaur parts. So majority of this stuff is all dinosaur, just all parts and stuff like that. So, like I said, there's and back behind that wall, there's all sealed sets. If you guys, I don't know if you can see them, but there's all sealed sets that have been going there. You know, up over here, right behind me, you know, we have some sets up there, you know, sets there. Okay. Or down right over here, this is where I stream every Saturday on Whatnot. Okay, this is my setup right over here. Okay, I have my iPad, my little turntable, and my little background right there. All right, so we come over here. You know, we have more. This is all vintage castle right here that just came in. Okay, vintage castle. All right, there's a Black Seas Barracuda right over there. That's going to be for sale on the weekend. All right. This is the box for the 101 88 Death Star. You got more bulk brick there. These are all boxes, just boxes from Uline that I pick up every week. And I go ahead and ship everything out in boxes. I don't use bubble mailers unless, you know, it's a free giveaway. But, you know, this is just it's all right here. There's more Lego parts in here that's been sorted. All right. And more Legos. You know, more Lego sets in here. Okay, more Lego sets in there. Come to the front of it. You know, more boxes there. There's some bins of Legos over there. All right, now we come back over here. All right, so like I said, that's where it is. All up on that top up over there are all sealed sets. Those are all sealed sets up there. Those are sealed sets up over there. Old Exo Force. You know, we have, you know, old, you know, Aqua Raider sets, sealed sets, 7775 Aqua Invasion sets. There's a Lego Technic F40 right over there. Okay, well, so like I said, all of that is all sealed sets. They're all been up there, say Lego sets 2024, 2023. And like I said, this is another table I showed you guys earlier. But I do get stuff from international, so a lot of the international stuff comes to me. So we have all kinds of stuff here, you know, that has to be processed. These are the Coca-Cola figures from soccer. Here's a bunch of the bricks. Those are some brick heads there. You know, just tons and tons of stuff that's just sitting here. And then, like I said, all these, see, these are all heads and helmets. You know, this is all Iron Man parts. These are all Iron Man parts. Iron Man parts, Marvel parts, you know, like you name it. Star Wars battle droids are over there. DC's right there. All right, that's Indiana Jones right over here. All right, so we come over here to the side of my garage. All right, open this door. We come out over here. All right, so you come out over here. This is all bins of Legos. These are all unsorted bins of Legos. Bulk brick, minifigure parts, parts that I haven't even like seen through yet. You know, one day maybe I'll get to it, but I mean, you're talking about, you know, bins like this that just have parts everywhere that sit outside, you know, these weatherproof bins. But this is what it looks like outside right over here. We have a bunch of this stuff here. All right, it's all just sitting out here. All right, let's go inside the house and I'll show you what's inside of the house. So this is my son's city. One of my son's city. I have two boys. I have a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old. And this is one of my 14-year-old city. It was an airport that he kind of just been rebuilding and stuff like that. But, you know, he has all kinds of stuff here. That's the mayor's train right over there. He's into city. So this is one of his cities. It does look kind of bad, but it'll get taken care of. Bulk brick everywhere. You know, there's bins of light gray, dark gray. More of that stuff down over there. That's all like palm leaves. These are all bins full of just bricks and minifigures and parts. All right, so this is like a quick thing of my son's city. All right, so then we come over here. Come over here, other side of the, so this is my other son's city. This is where I'll be doing more of the YouTube reviews and views right over here, kind of setting it up. But there's, you know, there's castle parts there, vintage parts. My other son, he likes Marvel and DC. So this is like his Avengers Tower right over here. This is a custom mock beach that my other son made for him. But you have all of this here. It's all Ninjago, you know, Ninjago Docks, City, you know, Gardens, whatever you guys kind of figure what's over Ninjago. But all of this is just right here. It's all sitting here. He likes to play with it. You know, there's Ghost Rider there on his little, you know, on the Ninjago City. All right, and you guys have just bins of just Legos everywhere. You know what I mean? Just bins of Legos everywhere. That's the Ninjago Dragon Fountain right over there. You have the, you know, the Mickey train set, the Daily Bugle. All right. So we come over here. All right. Come over here. Like I say, huge tables everywhere of just Legos. All right. Then we come over here. And we come into this room. This is another room in my house. Okay. This is where I put a lot of the, you know, the eBay inventory and everything like that. But this is just all filled with, you know, it's been getting filled up. But there's, you know, Lego minifigures everywhere. So Lego minifigures everywhere. Everywhere. You got heads there. You know, these are brand new Star Wars sticker sheets from the ARC 170. Right over here. Brand new sticker sheets from the Bounty Hunter gunship. All right. And we come over here. This is some of my just sealed sets that I just have, you know, just in the house that I have. There's 2 Voltrons there, two office sets. There's multiple stuff inside those boxes, those Target Amazon boxes. It's an old crane, 42082 crane that you guys saw on the table. All right. Then we come back over here. All right. So come over here. Some more Legos over here. Okay. More Legos over there. More Legos over here. Okay. Legos and bins, Lego minifigures, Bionicles. You have old Bionicle t-shirts right here. You have a vintage Lego Dimensions 2015 World Tour shirt. You know, eventually this stuff will make it to the whatnot or eBay. All right. Let's head outside, but head to the other storage. This is I had considered my house one storage, the garage and all of this over here. Okay, and we'll go out to the other storage. All right, guys, so we're back again. Thank you for being here. I really always appreciate you guys just checking out my videos, checking out what a billion trillion Legos looks like and a billion trillion, you know, minifigures look like. So, all right, so this is my other storage, my back storage. Some of you guys have seen this on Instagram. This is about 100 bins of just Lego. There's UCS Death Stars in here, Republic gunships, UCS Vaders, TIE Fighters in here. All kinds of stuff. Just all kinds of stuff. Vintage stuff. You have bags of Legos like this. You guys haven't seen my streams that just have figures that I haven't even processed through. I have no idea what I have anymore. I have no idea what is in here. You know, last time I found in here, there was a Space Monorail set. But you have all of these bins, you know, full of just Legos and parts. You know, I said my goal is to eventually have, you know, open up a Bricklink store and everything like that. But, you know, processing through all of this it's a really heavy task, as you guys can see. But I mean, there's bins of like this everywhere. You know, bins of just Legos. And like I told you guys, I've been doing this since 2005. I've been buying Legos since 2005. I used to do die cast, but you know, I switched over back to Lego on whatnot. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much, you know, if you guys have seen, this is just a quick tour of, you know, my, you know, the storages that I have of just Lego. You know, so one way or another, sometimes I will get back into it and start, you know, trying to sell most of it off, you know, because it's obviously, it's too much. It's way too much. My other one is I have a 10 by 30 storage just full. A 10 by 30 storage just full of just Lego. You know, and that's another storage. And, you know, I have figures here that I washed last night. And, you know, just kind of getting them ready for the show. My show on Saturday. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not sure a lot of our houses are filled with Legos, but, you know, this is an obsession. You know, guys, this is an obsession. So, you know, like I said, I've been doing this for a very long time. You know, I have store displays everywhere, store banners. You know, everywhere you go, you just kind of just see Lego everywhere. And, you know, eventually, like I said, all this stuff has to go. You know, it can't stay here. You know, a lot of people ask, you know, what do I collect? Well, I collect, this is what I collect. I collect die-cast I collect diecast, and I collect like weird stuff just because I like stuff that looks kind of weird. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of weird and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, like this is an $800, you know, store display right here. You know, so, you know, I have stuff all over my desk here that, you know, I collect and stuff. So, and then I collect all of this stuff right over here that people have given me over the years, you know, of thank you notes, you know, for helping them out on whatnot, and, you know, just supporting them and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much, you know, my you know, pretty much my little store tour display for you guys. That's me. This is me. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed the video, please like the video, please share with your friends. Like I said, eventually I will start going through all this stuff, you know, or just selling it off. But I pick up collections every week. I pick up, you know, people email me about buying, selling collections. I help a lot of people all over this world, all over the world. So I send stuff to, you know, Asia, send to Europe, everywhere, you know, people that need parts for Legos and stuff like that. So yeah, any questions or comments, you guys can always just feel free to message me. Any questions or problems, you just let me know. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the store tour. All right, let me know how you like it. All right, take care, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.